Hey guys, it's Carolyn. Welcome back to All Day I Dream About Food. I'm going to show you today how to make the keto version of graham crackers. This is a recipe that's been on my blog since 2011, I believe. I believe I might have been the first person to ever make a low-carb graham cracker. It also ended up in my book, The Everyday Ketogenic Kitchen. So the first thing I have is 2 cups of almond flour here. And to that, I'm going to add some of the new Swerve Brown. Now, when I used to make this, I used to just use the regular Swerve and a teaspoon or 2 of molasses to kind of give it the brown sugar flavor. But now they've got this and it's really, really helpful. This is 1/3 cup of the new Swerve Brown sweetener. Now, graham crackers always have a cinnamony taste, so I'm going to put in 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. Then we're going to add a teaspoon of baking powder. And finally, a little bit of salt. And we're going to stir that together. Now, all we add to this is 1 egg, 2 tablespoons of melted butter, and a little bit of vanilla. I'm going to put in about a teaspoon. And we're just going to mix this together until it starts to hold together. And you can tell when it's ready if it really clings together. You should be able to squeeze it and hold a little bit in your hand and have it all stick together. So once your dough has come together, you can roll it out. Now, I really like to use a silicone mat for this because then it doesn't slide around as I'm trying to roll out the dough. And now you just want to pat it out into a rough rectangle. So once you have your rectangle, and it doesn't need to be perfect at all, you just want to top it with another piece of something like parchment or wax paper. And you're going to roll it out to about 1/8 thickness. You need them pretty thin for them to crisp up properly. So you just want to try to roll them out as evenly as possible. So this is looking pretty good. You can see I've got a nice big, rolled out piece of dough. I usually use a pizza cutter to cut it into 2-inch squares. Again, I don't really work at being very even. It's not really a big deal. They taste the same, regardless of whether they're perfect or not. You can measure it out into perfect 2-inch squares if you like, but I just start rolling and cutting. You will have some funny edge-shaped pieces no matter what, but that's okay. They taste just as good, and my kids like to snack on them. Then you can just prick them with a fork a little like graham crackers. Now, this doesn't do anything different for the baking. You could go ahead and bake them just as is, but it's sort of a little decoration, makes them look a little more like traditional graham crackers. And then once they're all ready to go, I just slide my baking mat right onto a nice big cookie sheet. These are going to go into the oven at 300 for about 30 minutes. So now I have taken the graham crackers out of the oven, and you'll know that they're ready to come out when they're browned on the edges and the top is firm to the touch. But they'll actually still be pretty soft at this point. You'll want to let them cool for at least 20 minutes to half an hour, and then you can start breaking them apart. You want to do it pretty carefully at this point, and you might need to get underneath them to loosen them up from the silicone mat or the parchment paper. And you can just kind of loosen them up and break them along the score lines. And the trick to getting something like this to really firm up and to crisp up is to put them back into the warm oven. So once I'm done breaking them all up and separating them apart, I'm just going to let it sit in the warm oven for as long as it takes for them to be more crisp. And now I've actually taken them out of the oven for the second time. They were in there for about another half hour. As I was going along, I noticed some getting more brown, so I took them out early. So you can see that here. And they won't be completely crisp until they're absolutely cool. So patience, you need to wait until they're cool, and then they'll be nice and crisp, just like graham crackers. That's all there is to it. You can find this recipe on All Day I Dream About Food, or you can find it in my book, The Everyday Ketogenic Kitchen. I hope you have a wonderful day. go make yourself some graham crackers.